So I'm going to teach you two different ways to solve percent problems. Today we're going to work on percent proportions, and then later on we'll work on using the percent equation. The problem here, what is 22% of 540? We need to be able to put these numbers into a proportion so that we can solve them. Proportion is made up of two equivalent ratios. In this problem, there's one ratio that's really simple to pull out. The 22% can be turned into a ratio over 100. 22 over 100. So the tricky part becomes what to put in the top and the bottom of the next proportion. There are three different pieces that might go into solving a percent proportion. One is always going to be the percent ratio. The percent number, whatever it is, in this problem it was 22%, and that always goes over 100. The other two possibilities, one is to look for key words. Key word in the problem might be is and of, or the problem is more about ideas, you can use the ideas of part over whole. This problem is fairly short and straightforward. You can easily see the percent, and here's one key word, and here's the other key word. So we're going to go ahead and set it up. Percent is 22%, which is always a ratio over 100. And then we're looking at the two keywords is over of. Here's the easy one. Of 540. 540 goes on the bottom. But this part is the question, so that's our variable. We now have a proportion set up with one variable, and we can solve this by cross multiplication. On a calculator, over to my side where you can't see it, I've done 22 times 540 is 11,880. I don't think I need a calculator to do 100 times W. And now divide both sides by 100. And my answer is W equals 118.8. End of problem. Here's another example of a problem. 32 is 40% of what number? Again, I'm going to use keywords. 40% is obviously my percent. 40 percents always go over 100. My other two keywords is and of. 32 is, 32 goes on the top, of what number? That must be my variable on the bottom. And now I'm going to cross multiply. 40 times W is 40W. 32 times 100 is 3200. Divide both sides by 40. Cross out a 0, 320 divided by 4. W is equal to 80. One thing I didn't recommend in the last problem was to go back and make sure that everything made sense. 32 is 40% of 80. 32 is a little less than half of 80, so that does make sense. In the last example, I'm again looking for key words. Notice, however, that there is no percent, so that's going to be my variable. W over 100, because I don't know the percent. My other two key words, 65 is, of 250, is goes on the top, that's my 65. 250 goes on the bottom. Cross multiply. W times 250. 250W equals 65 times 100. 6,500. Divide both sides by 250. 250. W is equal to 26%. And again, does that make sense? 26% is fairly close to 25%, which is a quarter. 65 into 250 goes about 4 times. That does make sense.